I'd like to do a quick tutorial and demo of using QJackCtl to control PipeWire on a Fedora 34 system. PipeWire is a unified audio subsystem that composes both the jack and the pulse audio interfaces, and thus you don't have to switch between them. It's made my life a lot easier. Sound is a lot more usable on Linux ever since I installed PipeWire in Fedora 33. Now it comes to default in Fedora 34. There's been a lot of talk about it, and I just want to show why I am very excited about this very big step forward for me in audio. I'm running the Jack Audio Connection Kit QJackCtl UI right now, and you can see that up in the top left. And this is a Qt app that shows a graphical view of various things. Again, it came from the Jack background. It does more than Jack, but what we care mostly is the graph of connected sound sinks and sources on the system. So I'm going to bring up that graph now. I'm running OBS as my recording software, the screen capture software, and you can see that there's 3 or 4 things in here that are connected together that involve OBS itself. OBS, the platform, needs to be able to listen to audio in order to be able to record it, and you can see that my voice and the any sounds made by the main sound device here are going to that are treated as output are going to be directed into OBS. So that's by default. If I were to remove one of these, you wouldn't be able to hear me speak. The first thing I'm going to show is one of my most common use cases for this, which is connecting up a synthesizer. And I have underneath my my letter keyboard, my typewriter style keyboard, a piano keyboard, an old Casio 540 connected via MIDI to USB converter to my laptop. And that is the MIDI Sport Uno. And you can see that in purple on my my graph here. It's not connected to anything right now. Now, if I were to connect that directly to itself, in theory, you could actually redirect its output to itself. You'll already hear that. I actually have the volume turned down to 0 on the keyboard itself because I don't want to hear external sound. Well, I only want it coming through the synthesizer that I choose, which in this case is going to be Fluid Synth. I'm going to use the Qt-based UI that wraps Fluid Synth. It's called QSynth, and QSynth here has a front to the Fluid Synth software-based synthesizer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the MIDI output of the keyboard, the audio MIDI Sport Uno, to Fluid Synth. Now I'm playing it now and I can hear it, but I'm pretty sure that you cannot because there is no connection from Fluid Synth to OBS. In order for you to hear it, what I need to do is connect QSynth, which you can see here, to the OBS. And I'm going to connect left to left and right to right. So I grab the left, you see FL for front left, and FR for front right. And there's a couple that I don't think it really matters which you connect to, but play around with it. And now, you can hear the keyboard being used as the input device for QSynth, and the QSynth's output is going to OBS and getting recorded. I'm going to leave this up and running while I pull up yet another audio subsystem. So I have MPG 123 installed, and I'm going to play a little audio from that. And now again, you're not going to hear it when it first starts playing because there's going to be no connection, but we're going to wire it on up so that you can. There's no graphical component until the process is running. Now that I'm running it, I hear it. I'm also probably speaking loud because it's hard to hear over it. But let's hear what you can hear now. One on the left. Now you can hear me talking. You can hear Leo playing his very sax. You can also hear my banging on the synthesizer sax. It's a lot. If I just kill the program right here, it just goes away. You can see that the UI component went away, but it still leaves QSynth playing, and in its own UI is up and running there. I'm going to bring up the web browser now, and in the web browser, again, you're not going to see anything until I bring up something that actually will make sound. I'm going to bring up the Google Play Music. I've been listening to some Billy Joel recently, and we're going to listen to some. Let's listen to his ripoff of Beethoven. I love the fact he stopped at a good stopping point. Okay, so that should be enough to show you how all the different things work together. So if you have an application and you can't hear it, or you're trying to share it with somebody else who can't hear it, take a look at QJackCtl, look at what the connections are between the various things you got going, and figure out why it is that you can't hear your sound. It's probably because the connection between the sink and the source is not set up, and hopefully you can work through some of your sound issues with this.